Nick, what are you going to be watching for in the spring game? What are maybe some 2 or 3 things that you really want to see what this team has to offer?
The punting, obviously.
Oh, well, that goes without saying.
That goes without saying. I'm interested to see the quarterbacks. This will be the first time, for lack of a better term, that you get, the bullets flying. Obviously, the quarterbacks aren't going to be they'll be in non-contact jerseys. But I want to see Graham Mertz in front of what I hope to, be, let's call it 60,000 people on Thursday night. I want to see Graham Mertz. I want to see Jack Miller. I want to see what the outside receivers look like. I've been a little bit down on Xavier Henderson. I think he's a now or never kind of guy too. That might be a story that has to get written, Zach. These now or nevers. He had a great practice. Want to see what he looks like. And I want to see the punt returners. I think it's punt return, kick return was just bad all season. Got a little bit better, but just bad. I think
Henderson had like 1 return.
Yeah, I think punt return. Hold on, I have this written down. I think punt return is a position where I like Ricky Pearsall back there. I think when we talked to Ricky, he
wants to do it.
I want to do that. I don't like putting Trevor Etienne back on punt, maybe on kick. I would like him back on kick returns.
I think he will be their kick returner.
But I think I've seen enough of Xavier Henderson back there. I think right now on punt return, I've witnessed Caleb Douglas, Xavier Henderson, Ricky Pearsall, and Trevor Etienne.
I think Marcus Burke might have went back there one time too.
I've seen him there a little bit, but I'm interested in that. And you won't get a lot of special teams in the spring, but it was just such a bad performing unit last year. And I mean, we'd be on a podcast saying like, please just stop returning the ball. Just catch it, fair catch it. You're like, so many times Florida would try to bring a ball out. And even if they got the ball to the 35-yard line, holding, blocking the back, Florida just shot themselves in the foot so much. And then obviously the spring game is about situations. Florida was dead last in red zone offense last year. I asked Billy about that, and he thinks, I didn't like his answer really, because you had a 250-pound running quarterback. You shouldn't be converting not converting touchdowns, just converting scores at a 75% clip. You can't be worse in red zone. So I want to see red zone. I want to see who's on the kick return, punt return.
And while we're on that note, Nick, I mean, they had a red zone interception in the scrimmage, so something to get better at.
Check out the insider report, Zach. We've done too much from the insider report.
We have. Megan's already given them your projected offensive depth chart. If they're watching along, they saw the intel piece. One thing I want to watch for is the defense, man. Like, I want to see Austin Armstrong out there, how he calls things. Obviously, they're going to be very vanilla, but just to get a feel for his style, kind of see. I mean, I'll be on the field, so I want to see him out there, kind of working with the unit and just what that scheme looks like. I know it's going to be dumbed down, but they have to get better. That unit has to improve, and he's got to put his stamp on it. And I think he's already made an impact with his energy and some of the different things that he's brought to the table. But at the end of the day, it's about the product that you put on the field. So I want to see what the defense looks like and some of those pieces that he's working with.
What's his energy like? And will he be down on the field? Will he be in the box? Yeah. I can't remember if we've talked to him about that.
We have not.
But that's something interesting. Maybe it might only be interesting to us. Who's I get like the random question from the message board poster. And it's
Tony was in the
down,
box, right?
I believe
I think he was on the field. I'm gonna have to look that up.
I can't even remember. I know Mike P was up.
I want to say that Patrick Tony might
need to camp out near the home coach's office pregame as they get off the elevator and go to the booth. But that's something that's interesting. If Corey Raymond is truly coaching the whole secondary, then it would make sense to have your defensive coordinator up in the box so he can see the whole field better. And if he's the one calling plays, I think it's easier to see. It's much easier to see from the press box when you're, sitting on the 50-yard line and just calling plays down with the headset.
We'll find out. But I want to say that looking at all these photos of Patrick Toney from last season, it seems that he was. Oh well, no. This one, it looks like he's on the field. We'll have to find that out. I mean, hey, that's something to watch for in the spring game, folks. Because whether or not Toney was in the box or was not, that doesn't necessarily mean that's how Austin's going to do it. So,
sure.
And then I think the final thing I want to see, obviously the newcomers, right? I want to see what the freshmen look like. I want to see what these 10 transfers look like. But one interesting thing to look for me personally is how many, and we'll get your over-under, Nick, from getting over-under from both of us. What do we think is the over-under for the number of transfers, not just from this past year, but total, that will be in Florida's starting 22 in the spring game? Just with the first team, how many do we expect the over-under to be? You're going to have, obviously, your quarterback is going to be a transfer. I think Montrell will probably be with the first team offense. So there's a starter. Ricky Pearsall. After that, there's 3. I think along your offensive line, you're probably going at least 1 in Goodwin or George, maybe 2. And then on the defensive side, I think we'll see Mitchell out there, Cam Jackson, Caleb Banks. What do you think, Nick? What's your over-under?
I think you got to set the over-under at 8.5.
8.5. Okay.
I think that.
What are you going? You going over or under?
I'm going to go under with 8.
Ooh. Okay. I think
but also if I'm blanking on his
Mizuka
name.
wasn't hurt.
If Mizuka wasn't hurt, he's starting, but he's not there. But you also have cornerback. Shoot. You could have Jadarius Perkins. I might have set the number at 9.5.
That's
Perkins
right.
could start.
No, I think 8.5 is good.
But no, because you also have Jalen Kimber transfer.
Oh man.
So I think the number has to be 9.5. You could potentially have half of your starters, and maybe we're making too big of a deal of this just because of how much movement there is across the country, and this might not be.
Welcome to the transfer portal era.
Yeah, welcome to the transfer portal
where
era.
Half of your starting 22 is transfers.
Yeah, that's wild. It's even more wild in basketball, where it might be 4 of your starting 5 were playing somewhere else last year. But yeah, I think we'll set the number at 9.5. Hit the comments below. Let us know if you're taking the over or under on transfers. I will go. Shoot, I just took the under at 8.5, and I might take the over at 9.5 now.
Oh man,
I'm gonna go over 9.5.
Over 9.5. I'm gonna go under. I'll say 9. And we'll have another episode Friday to recap the spring game. We'll see how we did.
Yeah.
But those are what to watch for. 7:30 in the Swamp. You guys, if you're not going to make it to the game, you will be able to tune in and watch the game. It's going to be televised, streamed, excuse me, on SEC Network. And but look, encourage you guys to come out there. Admissions free. Gates open at 6 p.m. They're going to have a bunch of stuff, pregame for it. So not going to cut to your Easter weekend or anything like that. So definitely looking forward to getting back out there. And it should be a huge recruiting weekend for the Gators as well. A ton of visitors expected to be in town.